Hey, it's the Scotch Test Dummies. I'm Scott.
I am Bart.
We are back to Denison, Texas at Ironroot Republic Distillery.
Love the Denison, and today
Got a little tongue-tied there.
we will test it!
Hubris corn whiskey style.
Marcia style.
Marcia.
All right, why do we say Marcia? The mother
Brady
distillery.
Bunch. Well,
Oh,
Marcia
sure.
Licorice.
Yes.
The
Licorice.
Ironroot Republic is
Yes.
run by the Licorice
It's a family. Yes. Listen to the glug.
So, Hubris, this
Yeah.
is 100% corn whiskey.
Yes.
This was really one that's, I think, started
Yeah.
you and I with Ironroot
It did.
and our love.
We were
have
down
a
in
love.
Austin.
We have a love for Ironroot.
A love. A non-sexual love.
We've been to the distillery. We know, in fact, is I just spent the weekend with Jonathan and Marcia.
Yes.
Our whiskeys, though, we buy ourselves. They haven't given us these whiskeys.
No.
We buy them.
Yeah.
We review them. We give you our honest opinion of them. Ironroot Republic does some great stuff. They're in
Unbelievable.
northern Texas. They do bourbons. They
Denison.
do corn whiskeys. They've done an Irish whiskey knockoff. I don't want to say knockoff, but addition. Yeah,
Knockoff's
a whiskey
terrible.
done in the Irish whiskey
I know.
tradition.
Yeah. And they're fun people.
Great people.
And Marcia is their mother.
2018, Hubris was about 26 to 28 months old. Hubris is the one we took to Scotland with us.
See, I immediately started to look to
I know.
see what the
You
month
can't
was.
just listen. Just listen. That's all you got to do.
I was listening and looking. I can't listen and look.
So, in 2019, we went to Ireland and
It
Scotland.
was a good year. That was our high point.
We were meeting up with Roy, Octava Vitae,
Right.
in Scotland. He arranged for this tasting
Oh.
with his
Yeah.
fans, our fans, all these
Right.
people that knew us.
Right. In Glasgow. It was amazing.
Glasgow.
Amazing.
We
We signed
took-
a wall.
We took with us, and it was presented in a blind format.
Right. We ran a tasting.
We took with us Ironroot Hubris because we wanted to introduce Ironroot to Scotland
And Texas.
and what they're doing because it's
Yeah,
good stuff.
It's amazing.
That edition of Hubris, I want to say, was 26, 28 months old.
Yes.
It's a little over 2 years old.
Sure.
And we did this, we presented it to everybody there. 50 people, I believe, in this blind
At
tasting.
least.
Average consent was,
Yeah.
most people
12
thought it
years.
was like 12 to 15-year-old
Easy.
whiskey.
Yeah, they were like, wow, rich.
They were completely blown away to find out it was only 26 months,
Right.
28 months old.
Once again, proving Texas is magical.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, now this one I did pick up, I think, on my last trip down there, so it was a while back. But we are up to 45 months
What?
old now.
That's what I was trying to
Hubris.
peek at.
Yeah.
And you blocked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, earlier I was confused because I'm looking. It's batch 20 or
I
edition
saw
23.
the 23, then you blocked. I'm like,
And
why are you blocking 23?
I was like, 23? I'm like, it's older than that. I was like, oh, it's edition 23. So almost 4 years old now are Hubris editions.
This should be
coming out.
wild. This should be rich.
Which
I
they-
can't believe it didn't all evaporate.
They also do at, these editions are at cask strength.
Yes.
So the ABVs will vary. This one, 58.9%. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing.
Nothing.
They're so good.
None.
For my 20th wedding anniversary, we went down and spent some time at the distillery. My wife was like, what are we doing? I'm like, we're going to the distillery, baby.
And then she liked it.
She
got
loved
to
it.
taste some whiskey out of the
Yes,
barrel.
and then she said, I love this barrel. First time ever, she got to use the little cast thief and was like, this is unbelievable. Yes, yeah, she loved it. She realized the magic of whiskey.
Yep. All right.
Got it.
Ironroot.
Ironroot. You got to go higher octave. What do you got?
Orange. I got like a
What?
orange peel.
Oh, look
Fruity,
at that.
zesty.
I got a little orange
Citrusy.
sickle
Yeah.
because there's a creaminess.
Almost like a rye. I mean, it's
Oh.
almost like a rye whiskey
Okay.
nose.
Okay. You're not wrong there.
No.
That's why I love the rye.
Straight corn whiskey.
Right, without the pepper. That is interesting.
Yeah.
Because rye will do that sometimes. Rye will give you that like rising bread / malty, and then orange. I don't know how orange comes in, but it does.
Right.
Wow,
Yeah,
it's got my salivation going.
Orange sickle cream,
Mm-hmm.
caramels, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of spice.
Ah, wow. That is good. Isn't that right from the get-go? As soon as it hits your tongue, it's like, whoop, yeah, yeah. I know.
Woo! That is good. That is good stuff.
That's going to be hard to explain. But it gets you right. It gets you right on the open.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was almost a little orangey on the open, and then it did a bunch of other things.
Orange cream corn.
Yeah.
Really.
That's true.
Slight liquid, creamy cinnamons, orange zest, still orange sickle in there.
Let me come in again.
Yeah. Caramels, it's full. There's not a lot of depth here. With some of the other Ironroot editions, the bourbons and stuff are bringing a little bit more depth on the palate. This one's a little bit lighter.
I got a little bit of barrel.
Delicious though. Yeah, there's a little bit of char on there, a little bit of a barrel.
But the barrel coincides with the orange cream. Wow. And it sticks around.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's funny is it's so experiential, I don't want to even break it down.
For 58.9%.
Man, it's very, very
beautiful,
smooth.
Gorgeous, neat.
Doesn't stun your palate at that ABV.
I'm throwing a hefty drop of water on here.
I could drink this neat, but I will do the same. Man, the orange, one more. The orange sickle's still there. How did they do that? It tastes like the creamy orange sickle of my youth.
Again, Ironroot uses premium corns. They don't go down to the co-op, to the local grain elevator.
Once again, there's nothing in here. He's losing it.
They don't go down to the local grain elevator or the Tractor Supply and buy a bunch of bags of corn and run a distillation process. They're sourcing. They try to source as much as they can from Texas, from as close to the distillery as they can. A small percentage of the time they have to go outside of that.
Russia.
But they're also, I don't know.
Can we get corn from Russia?
Comrade. But then they're doing, they do yellow corn, red, the Bloody Butcher.
Bloody Butcher, his favorite.
Purple corns, Oaxacan corn. All these different corns.
I always feel like you got a little phlegm in there. Yes, he loves the Bloody Butcher. He got to try just a barrel of the Bloody Butcher, which they use as a blending whiskey.
Yeah,
and he was like, "Whew, I like the Bloody Butcher."
Yeah,
you were trying to make him. You wanted to force him to make a bottle called Bloody.
That's right.
They were like, "We don't know if that'll sell."
The
Bloody Butcher with a big knife on it. Dude. They were like, "You crazy." Jonathan was looking at you all crazy.
With water. Definitely toning down the ABV bite. Not introducing or bringing in other notes that I wasn't getting, although I say that and I got just like a little melon.
Okay. I got a little more of a dusty,
almost
barn floor.
Watermelon. Juicy type. No.
Goodness. God, they do good stuff, though.
Yeah. They are getting a new warehouse.
Really?
Storage facility.
God dang. Is it started big?
Started on that.
Was it on site?
And
because they were overflowing their current warehouse. They were like bursting.
So, and then they can't keep up with demand, basically.
Sure. Understand.
They make it, it's sold. They've had little in the building that they've been in for 10 years now. They just hit their 10th anniversary.
Wow.
But they've operated out of this same building, tried to expand where they could, try to
bottling,
redo this area. Let's do that.
So they tasting area.
Well, they just redid the front to make it the bottling area. When you were there, that's where it was.
Right. But now there's the front.
Now they're moving it.
What?
They've got to move the bottling area now. It's going to be in a new area because they're adding another still and expanding out front out there.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like they expand in one area and then they just got to
That's going
expand
to
to
drive
another
Jonathan
area.
crazy. Because Jonathan probably...
Yeah, what was funny was him and Marcia's expression was the exact same when they started talking about it.
Oh.
Because he said, "Yeah, we're moving the bottling line. We
Like,
got to
you
do that."
just did it.
I go, "You just made." He goes like, "I know."
Yeah. You just moved that.
And then Marcia's like, "Didn't you just move that?" I said, "I know."
That's what happens with great success.
Also, Saints Alley, they're bringing in under Ironroot. Yeah.
So what, it's going to say Ironroot Saints Alley?
No, it's just all going to be Ironroot, I believe. They're working on a label.
Ironroot.
They're working on a label rechange as well now because what they did was they couldn't keep up with demand with Ironroot.
Right.
And they created Saints Alley where they were blending some Ironroot with MGP.
Yes.
That was on the label. They were open. It
Genius.
Was, transparency, full transparency on the labels.
MGP can just give you, 300 barrels or something.
Yeah. So, what they've realized though is that Saints Alley, it never should have been really branched. It should all have been under Ironroot for branding purposes
just to
and
drive
marketing.
people more towards Ironroot.
Yeah.
Got it. And Ironroot's a hell of a name. Not that Saints Alley's bad.
Right. But people didn't realize Saints
Same
Alley is Ironroot.
But they could do Saints Alley in volume.
Yeah.
And it was
more,
unbelievably good. Yeah. Well, volume means more.
Yeah. Does it?
Yes.
Uno mas.
But later he'll be like, hey, mother. Hey.
No, very good here. 100% corn whiskey. If you think corn whiskey can't be good, you need to try Ironroot. Well, Icarus, we did Icarus. It's a corn whiskey as well that's aged in port and peat barrels.
You fly too close to the sun.
Their bourbons, though, off the charts.
Oh, well, they won in the year 2020. They were the top bourbon. Well,
but
they were the bourbon of the best bourbon of the world, which really means United States because bourbon can't be outside the United States.
Made. Yeah, true.
Well, yeah, it can be sold.
Yes.
But not made.
Right.
But still. Other things were going on in 2020, though. Look at that.
I got to give this a...
It's like Infinity with the dragon.
One more sip.
Yeah, you like it. You're getting ready to score it? That's good.
89.
Huh. I was actually sitting right at, I was thinking 89, does this punch into 90? 89. 89. I thought you were going to be above me.
I do think water is helping it. I think it's a little bit more enjoyable. It was good meat. That's a high ABV.
I like the creamsicle.
I think water is kind of helping it sit on the palate and kind of letting it sit there to be explored. You can really kind of enjoy it and taste more of it.
Oh, I totally get what you got.
With a little bit of water.
I totally get what you got.
Are you smelling what I'm selling?
I'm selling what you're smelling. So, because I get a little bit more of this funky, dusty corn with the water put on top of it.
Yeah.
It funks it up. Give me a little funk.
Yeah. Marcia was kind of razzing me about adding water to whiskey, too.
What? Come on,
She's like, oh, you're a Scotch drinker. You Scotch drinkers have to add water to everything. I'm like, well, you try it at different levels.
Yeah, it's all about experience, Marcia. Marcia.
Like,
it's not about I can't take it at that ABV.
Yeah.
Marcia. We're very friendly with the family.
Yeah.
So, very cool. Yes, very good. Good. The nice thing is, I'll add in that when I was talking to Robert had let me know that we in Kansas just got 2 total stores, one in Kansas City, one in Wichita. Because of the weird laws that are per state, it's independently owned and like licensed under total. But because that's here, you can get Ironroot in Kansas, is what my understanding is.
Okay, good.
So Total is, I think, in 33 states. So if you have a Total store, you should be able to find Ironroot.
Have you gone up to our Total yet?
I have not.
I haven't
I
either.
need to. It's way out east, which is
I told Dustin, I'm like, look, we're not. I mean, we're our ears still are.
Well,
our R&J discount liquor here, they've been
great.
taking care
They're
of us.
great.
Yeah, I'm like,
what's been
we're
happening to
still
me,
coming to you.
you're retired, but at the job, I got a lot of people coming up, officers coming up that have gone to Total, and they are overwhelmed with the amount of options that are at Total, which is true. And so then they come to me and go, God dang, there were like 200 options. And I'm like, yeah, that's the beauty. And they're going to do a bunch of barrel picks.
You know, I can remember, so we started reviews in 2013.
Yes.
Now, we're done with the review. And by the way, these are 60, 70 bucks, somewhere in that range, maybe 80.
Unbelievable price.
Yeah, unbelievable. If you see it, pick it up. Most of the time with the Totals, you're going to find Harbinger. You may find Hubris. They're all worth picking up. Maybe Icarus. But so anyway, that's it for the review.
Nice. What do you got?
Just stay tuned if you want. Now we can blabber on for a little bit.
Give them a clean cut.
Clean cut right there. We're done with the review. Bye.
There ain't
All
nothing
right.
else
More.
we're going to
There's
say
blab
about
talk. Blab
There's
talk.
Blab talk, which is why you should be tuning in.
2013, right? We started reviewing Scotch.
Yes.
2013.
We've been at it 11 years.
Within a year, we were like,
Almost.
we should be reviewing bourbons
Right.
as well.
We were just doing Scotch.
We're in the States. We're surrounded by all these bourbons.
Sure.
You go back then, even at a couple of the liquor stores here in town, bourbon was this small section.
Right.
Small section. I mean, you had
And almost nothing over $60.
3 shells. Yeah. I mean, anything over 60 was high dollar.
Yeah, crazy.
So, and I can remember thinking, well, if we do that, by the time, even starting the Scotch test
We're gonna run
Dummies,
out.
we're going to run out of whiskey to review.
We thought we would run out.
By the time we review 100 whiskeys,
Right. We're going to have to
run out.
recycle. Never.
Several liquor stores here I can even think of is it's not a small section of bourbon. It's almost 2 rows.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
now
front to
dominating.
back.
Right. As it should.
And every time you go, well, should
I
it?
think it should.
It's an oversaturation.
I think.
Every time you can, I guarantee you go into any liquor because you don't do a lot of shopping.
I don't.
You go into liquor store,
anti-shop.
you're going to see 50 bourbons you've never heard of.
I agree with you there.
Small
Yes.
craft, brand new
Right.
distilleries.
Well, they all want to be high west.
A lot putting out stuff
Buy
that they
MGP,
probably shouldn't be.
Sell your thing for $200 million.
Yeah. And 50 I think is being conservative in brands that you wouldn't recognize.
Right. It's coming down. Right. There's a contraction about ready to happen.
And there was recently and I'm not saying anything bad here.
Yes, you are.
There was a news story locally. I think it's in Emporia.
Ooh, small town.
New distillery starting. But the news story was basically, me and my buddy were enjoying whiskey, and we thought, why don't we make it?
That's how we started this channel.
And they started a distillery.
Big mistake.
Maybe.
Probably.
Best of luck, best of wishes to them.
Although, Ironroot was, you had Robert as an attorney, Jonathan's an engineer.
Yeah.
And they came together.
Brothers. They were already together.
Well, not that way.
Like, okay, I've said this since,
Do it.
8 to 10 years ago, we started to see more and more craft distilleries starting up. Small. You go into liquor stores, like, oh, that looks like a neat bottle. I'm going to buy it.
Right.
Now you go in, there's so many, you can't possibly do that.
You could possibly. But we struggle. And we're the dummies.
Last weekend I was down in Austin out at the Whiskey Vault.
Ooh, name drop.
For some meetings. And we've been there a few times. Daniel Whittington and the Whiskey Academy down there. We're in the vault hanging out. They've got this room of whiskey. I think he says there's like 3,000 bottles in there. Probably at least that, if not more.
Because they moved the vault down to that little.
They had to go to a bigger area.
Right. The lounge.
So I was sitting in there talking with Daniel and
You're
Nino.
in the tower?
Nino, yeah, in the tower, in the vault.
You said Nino?
Nino from the Whiskey Wash.
I don't know Nino.
Well, I just met him.
Oh.
I went no.
I was going to say, I don't know Nino. Nino don't know me?
And I'm looking at, and these are all the whiskeys that they've been gifted, that have
floor
come
to
in,
ceiling.
that they've reviewed, right? And so I asked Daniel, I said, does a new distillery that's just starting up have a chance? Mm-mm. He said, absolutely. Which he laid out some factors for it.
Really?
I don't know that I agree with him.
I'm with you. I don't think they have a shot.
It's an uphill battle at this point. They are behind the curve.
Out?
Yeah, how do you make, when you walk into, like you said, you got people coming up to you and they're in total.
Yes.
And overwhelmed by all of these choices.
Yeah.
One,
I got a Jack Daniel's maple.
How do you make your whiskey stand out?
Right.
And two, make it good so that they buy a second bottle.
Yes.
Or tell their friends about it.
Right.
How do you influence people with this wall of whiskey to grab your bottle? I don't know, that it's an uphill battle.
I think our channel first turns people into whiskey omnivores. They're trying everything rather than just what you want. You don't want, although there's a shift.
That's what we preach.
That's what we preach. There's a shift of people dropping back into their brand, though. There's a movement
because there's too much.
Yes. They want to just drop into their brand, and it's like sitting in a lazy boy. They just want to ensconce in the lazy boy and watch the show.
Right.
That's what I'm getting that at work. Yeah. Guys are like, it's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. And I'm like,
it's oversaturation.
Yes. So all I can do, and you can't do this for everybody, is I tell them, come over to the house. I'll run you through some stuff.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, that's interesting. But yeah, the wall of whiskey is too much. Before we go too far.
Just to go back a little bit more, I can remember when I'd go into our liquor store at the time, and there would be a new bourbon, a new craft distillery, and we'd pick it up.
Right,
like it's new. We got to review it.
Well, that's how you turned me into a peat head with Compass Box Peat Monster. Yeah. I was very judgmental. I was like, look at this clear label designed at college kids, and you were like, shut up and try it.
I'm like, just shut up,
dude. You did,
which I've said many
all
times.
all the time. And then I tried it and turned into an instant peat head and overshadowed him.
Yeah, but my point is now, even if I go, I go every week, every other week to the liquor store.
You love shopping. You're like
each time there's something new. It's like, what is this? And then you go into, so I'm sitting in the whiskey vault, and I'd ask Daniel that question because I'm looking around at all of these bottles, and there's 50 shelves. I mean, from the middle of the room, all lining the wall, the 50 sections.
Right.
Maybe that's a little high.
No.
But I'm looking at this one section, and I tell him, I'm like, Daniel, I know whiskey.
Yes.
I'm in the whiskey world. We've been reviewing for 10 years. I pay attention to social media. I said, I'm looking at this one section.
I don't know that.
This one section of bourbon on your wall. There's easily 20 bottles I've never heard of.
Right.
And then, it's all these small names. And he's like, there's probably more than that. That's what I said. I'm like, that's just it. Where there's an oversaturation, it's over penetration.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's the newcomer, and how do they decide when they go in there what they buy? I mean, and a lot of people, it's by packaging. I mean, you're going to design a bottle, you're going to design a label that's attractive, that's eye-catching.
Can I rip this open?
No. So
callback.
Ironroot has, the thing is, they've been up and running, going for 10 years. They're doing good stuff. They can't keep up with demand. I don't think they have that issue because the word of mouth. I mean, with most people, the word of mouth is, there's a lot of people that haven't heard of Ironroot, but they're trying to produce and just keep up with production to meet demand.
The only thing they need is for like Kevin Costner on Yellowstone to decide that this is the new bottle they're going to feature on the show.
Sure.
And then you wouldn't be able to find it.
You can barely find it now. So
right, but it would be gone.
Much ado about nothing.
I like it. If you enjoy what we do here, you can go to my board game channel. What? Yes, it's called Bonding with Board Games and RPGs, and he and I are playing The Walking Dead AMC in a role-playing fashion. Enough said. Scotch it, you Scotch gods.
Cilantro.
Dummies, for those that are still here.